I actually went to university and did a dance degree. I always wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be on the stage. And I remember in my last year at uni, I was kind of like, I'm just not sure if this is the career I want to pursue. Like, and I spoke to my dad, and my dad was like, I mean, I've always been quite outdoorsy, I've always been into fitness and stuff. And dad was like, maybe you should look at the forces. And yeah, I joined a run club in Paddington Recreation, actually, that was run by the army. And I absolutely loved it. And then I went on a little mini kind of weekend taster, and again was just hooked. And yeah, I remember calling my mum and telling her, yeah, mum, so I'm going to finish my dissertation. I'm going to get my degree done, but then I'm not coming home after that. And she was like, because I'd moved to London. She was like, okay, cool. What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to join the army. And she was just like, what?
No way.
And it was just a big shock to everybody that that's what I was going to do. But yeah, I joined. I went in. Basic training was hard. I'm not from a military family, so I had no clue at all. And it was a steep learning curve, and it's 14 weeks of of just lots of training and lots of learning new skills and stuff that I'd never had any experience in, but I just loved it. And then I went, my first posting was in Cyprus for 2.5 years, and it was amazing. I did so much adventure training that I would never have got the opportunity to do had I not joined the military. Skydiving, wakeboarding, kite surfing, skiing, triathlon. The world is your oyster, and yeah, I guess my career kind of followed suit. I was very, very lucky with the jobs that I had. I did 5 operational tours, which were challenging, and also, I guess, for my family as well. But in the military, it's a lot of moving around. It's a huge commitment. And I think I said to myself I would do 4 years, and then after 4 years I would have gained some experience, and then I'll take that. And 14 years later I left.
Incredible. Mate, I want to jump into something now. I've prepared myself and I've prepared you for this. When you because it's a little bit based around gender. When you joined 14 years ago, how was it as a female in I guess a job that had been or is perceived by the public as really a male orientated? I guess there was a lot of females around, but how did you feel in that scenario, and how were you perhaps treated, or do you feel you were treated?
So, I mean, I didn't really experience any kind of, I mean, you could, yeah. So you go through training, and there is, at percentage wise, there's of course more males than there are to females, and you're separated, and the males have their block, females have their block. When you then pass training and you go into the kind of wider army, and you're actually doing the job that you've been trained to do, I didn't actually feel a minority from kind of, because I was female at all. I think I guess there's a big demand to be good at the skills that you've been taught, and as a female, you kind of want to show that you can, you can be just as good as all the males in order to kind of, I guess, yeah, just show that you're kind of not you're not going to be dependent on anybody, and you can still look after yourself, particularly when you kind of do operational tours and things like that. But yeah, I think, absolutely, females are a minority in the military, but there's more than you would think. And they sit in around, specific job roles. Some have more females than others. But I don't know, I had a very successful career.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So.
And that's why it's sort of a little bit an old school perception for sure. And that's basically what I was sort of trying to uncover, that our perception is that it's not an industry where there is a lot of females, and maybe the percentages are skewed more towards males. But you, like you rightly said, mate, you had a super career, and from what I saw in Tanzania, you were way stronger than a lot of the guys that were out there. Sorry to any of the guys that are listening, but you were way stronger, both physically, mentally, emotionally, than a lot of the guys out there. So it's really just bad perceptions of society, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's all relevant, right? You know, I maybe I've been in different circumstances that have meant I've kind of had to dig deep, as they would say, in a physical and mental challenge. But yeah, I'm very grateful for you saying that. It's very kind of you.
Oh, it's so true, mate. It's so you've been in tough situations. Mm-hmm. Some of them you said there physically you need extra power. Some of them mentally maybe you need extra power, and some of them you probably need equal portions of physical and mental. How do you have a go-to way of dealing with hard situations that you sort of deployed? And this is probably not just the military, this is probably just you as a person. How do you handle tough situations?
I always try and stay level-headed. So my first thing is always, Trish, don't flap. Like, do not think the worst, don't overthink this, don't flap, you know, and then I just try and remain calm. I'm also super, super stubborn. So I would say my inner stubbornness kind of carries me through a lot. But yeah, I think that the biggest thing for me is just not freaking out and not overthinking it, and also not selling myself short. So I try and actually just say to my Trish, you can do this. Like, you've got this, you can do this. I think inner belief is a massive thing. I think, you know, particularly with physical challenges, the body is capable of so much more than you ever realize. You just have to allow your mind to let your body do whatever it is that you're doing. A lot of the time it's our minds that will tell us, oh no, I can't do that, or I shouldn't be doing that. And actually the body can keep going. And I think the mind works in the same way. You know, you can stretch your boundaries mentally. You can practice all of those things with different experiences. And I guess I've been through a lot of experiences that have tested both of those things.